So, hello. Today we'll be interviewing the two biggest witch YouTubers on the entire YouTube. So we have Digital Bloodlines, also known as Shy Sky, and LozTalkz. So, hello to both of you. Say what your roles are in the fandom.
Okay, I'll go first. So, Shy Sky here, and I currently play Miss Knickerbocker and Susan.
Well, I'm Lauren, and I play Cornelia mostly, but also Irma's stepmother Anna, Tarani's mother Teresa, and Libba,
Yay!
and also Maria Dell. I don't think she's actually said anything yet, so I keep forgetting that I'm voicing her.
Yeah, and also Courtney Gramper.
Oh, and Courtney, yeah, she hasn't appeared either.
I'm really waiting for the Gramper sisters to appear. I really want you and Neko to voice them.
I'm sure it'll be fun.
So, please tell me what roles are your favorites? Shy?
All right. Yes. So I actually really like playing Miss Knickerbocker more than Susan, just because I get to do an interesting thing with my voice. Because Susan is more just sort of like my voice, but trying to be higher pitched.
I love your Knickerbocker, really. She's perfect.
I'm trusting you, officer. Good luck.
And Lauren?
I mean, I'd have to say that doing Cornelia is my favorite, even though I don't get to it's just my normal voice, so it's I don't get to do a kind of different, interesting voice for her, but she gets really good lines. I get to the past few issues, I feel like all I do is stand around and yell at the other characters, so that's always fun.
I think that Cornelia has the best lines, actually. Yeah, she's just standing around, ordering everybody around, being like, "Oh, Will, you're such an idiot! Oh, Irma, shut up!"
Oh my god, I've gone blind. I can't see anything.
It's a blackout, idiot.
Cornelia brings the structure. They need to be yelled at sometimes.
She's the best. She really is. Oh, so that brings us to the next question. Who are your favorite characters? In general, they can also be from the cartoon.
I mean, I think everyone knows who my favorite character is. My favorite character is Cornelia, and I'm very honored that I get to be her voice.
And Will is my favorite. Always has been, and I just don't think it's going to change anytime soon.
So tell me now, how did you find out about Witch, and for how long have you been fans?
So, I think it must have been 2005 that I discovered Witch, because that's the year that's on my very first magazine, so I would have been 9.
Oh my god, I was 1.
Aww.
Doesn't make me feel old at all. And yeah, so it was a different a completely different magazine, but it was by the same company that published the Witch magazine in the UK, so they'd put this teaser issue in with the magazine that I got to try and promote it and get people to buy it, and I just looked at it and I was like, whatever this is, I love it. I'm living for it. And yeah, that was just sort of me from then on. Just kind of, I started buying the books, and then when the show came out, I started watching the show, and that's been my life ever since.
So how many years would that be now? 2005, you said that, right?
Yeah, so 19 years.
Oh my god. I can't wait for your 20th anniversary in the fandom.
Yeah, I'll have to celebrate.
And how about you, Shy Sky?
Yeah, so I just pulled out my calculator as well. For me, I guess it is my 20th year in the fandom, because it was 2004.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I was a 4th grader, so I was probably also about 9 or 10. And there was a book fair at school, and I saw it as soon the cover of the first book as soon as I entered the room, and I just got it, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. Yeah, and so that's 20 years, and I'm happy to be back into the fandom and talking about it, because it got ripped away from the United States after 2 story arcs, so I'm happy to finally be reading the rest of it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But On the other hand, these are the best arcs. So maybe
Yeah,
it's
that's
for the
true.
better.
Yeah.
And what arc are you on now?
I'm reading arc 7 right now, so it's starting to get a little silly, but
A little silly and goofy.
yeah, definitely.
What do you find to be the hardest thing about being the voice actor?
I mean, I think for me, like, it's weird because I always liked, like, when I was younger, I always liked doing voices and accents and, like, doing impressions of my teachers and stuff. But I feel like trying to do a voice just with my normal voice is not like, it's not normal for me. Like, I'm used to, like, always doing impressions of people who don't sound anything like me. So I think the most challenging thing is just trying to act, but with my own voice. I don't know. It doesn't come naturally to me. I feel like I sound weird.
You know what? I actually get that because I enjoyed voicing Yan Lin much more than I enjoy voicing Terani because I feel like it's weird and I don't like my voice. Like
Yeah,
when I voiced Terani, but when I was voicing Yan Lin and I was changing my voice, I really liked it.
That's probably why I don't
like,
like voicing Susan.
I feel like it's easier to, like, hide behind, like, a different voice, like a fake voice or a fake accent. Whereas when you're talking with your natural voice, you're, like, very aware. It's like, this is what I actually sound like, and I can't do anything to hide it.
It's also funny to me because because everybody always told me that my voice is very loud and like mm, yeah, it's just loud. But now everybody tells me that my voice is very delicate and quiet.
I love your Tarani voice.
Thank
It's nice.
you.
And your normal voice. Your normal voice is also really good too.
Thank you. And Shy, what do you find to be the hardest?
So like how you guys were saying, doing a character that is close to your normal voice isn't as, I guess, fun. Like I love Miss Knickerbocker because it's like I just try to do this like weird British old woman or something, whatever I'm doing. But with Susan, it's really hard because I'm also trying to be a little bit more like her and not just do my normal voice. I don't know how to explain it, but there's a couple times where I'm voicing her lines and I feel like she sounded a little too mean when she's yelling at her. I'm trying to make her sound sweeter.
Honestly,
but I don't know.
Now
Yeah.
that I hear you, I can hear Susan too.
I know I was trying to be different, but I guess not too much. Well, thankfully, I was in a voice acting club in college for a little bit. So I got a little bit of tips and tricks from there, but that's as far as I've got.
That's so cool.
That's so cool.
We didn't have that.
Thank you. It was one of my dreams at one point, but I didn't pursue it.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, that's the next question actually. Do you want to be a professional voice actor?
Used to. I mean, it'd still be cool to do something because that's like a nice. I feel like a lot of people do it from home now, so I feel like it wouldn't be too hard to like send something across the country to somewhere and voice it in. But I don't know. I don't think I want to do it professionally anymore.
Yeah, I used to. Like when I was a teenager, that was like my dream. That's what I wanted to do. Like I have books on it and everything. Like my mom bought me books about like learning the art of voice acting and stuff. And I've been to a couple of like online seminar things with voice actors and things because I like the idea, but realistically, I don't know how to go about it or if I'm even remotely good enough. I mean, I spoke to I was at a seminar with she's a voice actress and a vocal coach. Her name's Eliza Schneider, and I actually asked her. I was like, "Is there a market for a Scottish accent in the voice acting business?" And she was like, "Yes, like that's one of the most coveted accents. The fact that it's your natural voice, so it's not fake. Like you would be so sought after for that voice." I'm like, wow, that's really awesome. But at the same time, like, I don't know realistically how often people actually need a Scottish accent for anything. Apart from maybe like fantasy video games or whatever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I also didn't know that, but I think that I guess that it makes sense that accents are sought after.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose Scottish accent is a really hard. Well, according to everybody else, it's a really hard accent to do. And when you hear some of the terrible attempts in TV shows and films and stuff, I imagine maybe it is something that is a benefit to have someone that sounds like that naturally, isn't faking an accent. Who knows? Maybe one day.
If they ever redid the Witch show, we're going to be in line for it. We're going to be like knocking on the door, please let us in.
If they don't want Scottish corny for the Witch reboot, then I don't want it.
I think that would be actually so funny if we made a petition that please include Scottish corny in the reboot. You must.
Scottish corny is canon now. She can't be written back out of the series. Canon event.
What would be your dream role, either from the future arcs or from the TV show? Like a role of someone who isn't at the moment in the comics.
So I would love. I don't know. I haven't practiced anything for it yet, but I honestly would love to try Narissa because evil is so fun to play. So I think that would be fun. I have not even practiced, so I'm not sure how that would go yet, but I would love that.
I'm pretty sure that if we ever do Arc 2, we're gonna have a lot of Nerissa auditions, and I really think that
She's
will be
popular.
Yeah, I think that will be very fun to listen to them.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see like what different people do with the character, with the voice.
And also, it would need to you would need two voices for Nerissa, like the old one and the young one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I think Shy Sky could make it work.
Oh, thank you.
I think so too. I'm trying to think. Who would I? You know who I would love, and I don't know if I could do a voice that would suit her, but I don't know if we're ever going to get that far. But I love Yua so much.
Honestly,
I would love to do something really fun with her voice.
I knew you would say Yua. I just knew it.
It didn't even come to me until I was sitting thinking. I'm staring up at my books on the shelf, and I'm like, think, who else is there to voice? And I was like, oh, of course, my Green Queen.
That'd be cool.
You're such a Yua simp, and I can't blame you.
She has such a cool design. I love her. Green is one of my favorite colors. I can't help it.
Okay, so we already got Nerissa and Yua. We can do the next two arcs.
We'll be the bad girls.
And are there any specific issues or scenes that you're looking forward to voicing or just seeing in the fandom?
I'm trying to think. I'm nervous more than excited for like issue 7 because I'm so used to doing like angry Cornelia where she's just bossing everyone around, and then issue 7 is obviously when Caleb comes into it and suddenly she like transitions to like lovey-dovey romantic girl, and in my head I'm like what is that going to be like? I'm going to need to like practice because I'm so used to now just always being like, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you, Will. And I'm going to have to change that to like, oh my god, Caleb, you're so pretty.
Yeah, like in issue 7 we'll have Caleb and we'll also have Phobos for the first time, so I can't wait.
Yeah, it's a big issue. I was like scrolling through it and I was like, oh my god, there's so like Cornelia has so many lines in that issue because there's a whole bunch of stuff with her and Elion as well, and I was like, it's gonna take me hours to record that. There's so much dialogue. But it should be fun. I'm interested. It's gonna be a fun challenge to see what it's gonna be like to do the romantic stuff with Caleb.
I can't wait for Scottish Corny and Irish Caleb.
the connections.
The best duo. And Shy, is there anything you're waiting for?
Oh, I'm really not sure. I would love to see how we do like the finale of the comic. Just hearing that being voiced is going to be great. But if we get to arc 3, I would love to hear Tarani telling off the Oracle.
Oh,
just ridiculous! I can't wait for that.
There are so many people that hate Terani for doing that, but
No, she has every right to do that.
Hmm.
I think that was iconic.
Yeah, we were all thinking it, so she said it.
Yeah, and there are so many people who are like, I hate Tarani because she's like, she's selfish and she left the team in arc 3, and I think she was just like, there's literally no conflict. I know you guys can handle it without me. I think that was the real thing. Like, if she knew, if there was like an Erisa level threat, I don't think she would have left. But that was just Ari. It's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a man with issues with his kid. Like, I'm sure the other 4 could handle it without her.
Yeah, and also he was
Yeah, true.
he just had beef with the Oracle. The girl shouldn't even be like included in that.
Exactly, like Tarani had beef with the Oracle and Ari had beef with the Oracle. So they were on the same page, really, so I don't blame her.
Yeah, exactly. It would be so cool if like Tarani just went to Arakanta and were like, "Okay, Ari, I'm with you. I can help you. I hate the Oracle too." And then she realized that why he hated Maki, and she was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Really brief evil Tarani arc. She's evil for like one day and then she realizes what Ari's like and she's like, never mind.
Why do you hate your kid?
Aw. It all could have been fixed with like a conversation.
Tarani adopts
Showed up and
Maki.
went, hey.
Tarani adopts
Yeah.
Maki. Like in Sims 1 when a kid could adopt another kid.
Yeah.
Or
Maybe
like,
what they actually needed for Ari was like in The Sims 1 where like the social worker would just come up and take away your baby. That's what they actually needed to do to Maki. Just take him away.
imagine
from
if
Ari.
Tarani just showed up one day at her doorstep with a kid and said, "Hey, can we adopt this kid? His dad really hates him." Arc 3 is literally a mess.
Mm-hmm.
It's very messy.
But I still don't think that Tarani did anything wrong.
I don't think so. I think I don't think people are right in saying she's selfish. Like Cornelia shut herself in a room for like ages because her boyfriend turned into a flower. Like I don't see how that's any worse than what Tarani did.
No, yeah, Tarani was all fine for it. She's just dead. She's like, she just really knows what she wants and just figures it out. I don't know. I feel like she's the most like solid on figuring out what she believes.
And I agree with you, Lauren, because it's nice that you love Cornelia, because obviously you do, and you still can see that locking herself in her room was a little weird. But I also think like she had her reasons. I would have been really upset to accept that she didn't really have a relationship with Caleb, as we all know. So that was weird. But yeah, she was in love, or she thought she was, so that's understandable.
Yeah, I love her. I can still judge her.
Are there any scenes or characters or things from the show that you wish were in the comics?
Maybe come back to me.
I mean, like obviously, like, I love Blanc. As we know, I am a Blanc stan. But at the same time, like, would he have worked in the comic? I don't know. You know, like, does he only work in the show? And like, I love TV show Caleb, but then if he'd been in the comics, like, I want him in the comics in place of the Caleb that exists, but then the whole story would be so different. So like, who knows what it would have turned out like. But yeah, like, I love those characters, and I think I Caleb in the show is so much better than Caleb in the comics, so it would be interesting to see what it would have been like if he'd been that way. Would have turned out as.
I think there was one person I saw on the server that thought that comic Caleb was better.
I saw someone. I'm not like I'm going to name names. I've got no idea who it was, but I saw someone recently online saying that they thought that, and they were like, I didn't like Caleb in the show because he was really stupid, and he was so much better in the comic. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I support everyone's right to an opinion, but that did surprise me somewhat.
There was someone who said that
it was the general opinion that everyone kind of agreed on.
yeah, I remember one person, I don't remember who it was either, saying that in the show Caleb was sexist and that's why they disliked him, but in the comics he was just like a nice guy, a good person. But like for one thing is that like the show was from the early 2000s, so that was kind of the humor back then.
Caleb in the show he was very much a product of his time. Like, the early 2000s was like that, especially even in children's media, this idea of like the divide between boys and girls. I mean, I always remember they had that, like, it was like a brand of, I don't know what it was a book or stationery or something, but it was like that thing that always had the slogan of "boys are stupid, throw rocks at them."
What?
I don't know if you got that in other countries, but you can look it up. It was like all over stuff. It was like one of these like kind of like brand things that was just like all over everything. You could buy merch with it, and that was the thing. It said "boys are stupid, throw rocks at them." Like, it was very much just that's what the 2000s were like, unfortunately. And Caleb's writing is just a product of the time.
One thing is
True.
that I remember I had a book, like a whole book series that had written on the cover, "No boys, only witches allowed," and there was lots of stuff like that. There were also games for girls, like "Just for girls, no boys allowed." Yeah, because if the protagonist is a girl, then no boys allowed. But also, my second point is that Caleb in the show is objectively funny.
He makes me laugh.
Like he is sexist, but I forgive him.
I support Caleb's rights and Caleb's wrongs.
Which also I love. So you know how they try to do the whole divide between boys and girls in the 2000s, but we have a lot of male witch fans, which I love.
Especially the show, like the show starts with Caleb. We don't see the girls until a few minutes into the show, and he has a really big role. And there's also Blanc and Matt.
Yeah, like most of the boys in the show are really good. I mean, the bit about Nigel, the better poor boy, but the rest of the boys are all really good.
Yeah, like Nigel is probably the only boy that I really hate in the show, and I really like him in the comics.
He might have got better. Maybe if we'd got season 3, maybe he would have got better.
But I think this, especially the show, is very much gender neutral, and the comics, they are geared towards girls, but I don't think that means boys can't enjoy them, because like they were interesting, they were fun, there was good action. Why not? What's not to like?
Exactly.
And Shy, is there anything you thought of, like that you would like to be in the comics but is only in the show?
I'm still like mixed on this, but when we were talking about Caleb, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I would have loved, if he was like, if we had more people coming in to like live in Heatherfield and that are from like another world, just to experience. I know we had a Rube eventually, but I don't know, just like more chances of like, oh, here's this person from this other world, Mom. They're just visiting. It's like, I don't know.
I know. I remember that it made me so mad because there was this Caleb Cornelia special on why they could never work. So like Caleb couldn't go to Earth because like social services could get him and see that he's from another world, and Meridian would get exposed. And literally next arc, Orb comes to Earth, no problems. She just lives in Miss Rudolph's home, no questions asked. She goes to university, like no problems at all. And that was so stupid. They really tried hard to make us believe that a relationship between Cornelia and Caleb couldn't work.
Yeah, when really all they needed to say was like their relationship was rubbish to start with. Like, it didn't really need a whole special to prove that they couldn't be together. They just didn't work. That should have been the end of it.
Yeah, feel more realistic with it.
Yeah, these two people thought they were in love. They weren't. End of the story.
Exactly. No need to make a whole two-part issue about it. And also, like the part where Cornelia was in Meridian, maybe it was a little bit more interesting, but it was also dumb. Yeah, I'm gonna make my astral drop live on Earth for years. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's like that's not going to be traumatic for her family that you've just sent like a clone to go and live with them and they think it's you, but it's not. Like, that's kind of evil.
Yeah.
That's like a really horrible thing to do to your family.
Now you kind of already answered that, but what are your hopes for the fandom? How long would you want us to go on, and how many arcs would you want us to make?
I'm good with going till the end. Like, it's so fun. I love it, and I love hearing everyone and working with everybody. So I don't know. I just think we can only get better and better. So I just would love to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm, I the later arcs are iffy when it comes to quality, but I mean, if we could keep going until the end, that would be fun. But I would, at the very least, I would definitely love to see Arc 2, just because Arc 2 is like really good, and I would love to see whoever gets Narissa and Shagon and all those kind of people, and get to see all of the new characters from Arc 2, and the check-in, the former Guardians, get to see them and people, whoever would be voicing Kadma and Cassidy that one time that she appears.
And Eric.
As long as we get if we get as far as R2, I will be happy. But I mean, as far as we can go would be fun, because I really enjoy it. I really enjoy recording my lines, so I'm happy to just keep going as long as everybody else wants to.
Is there anyone in the fandom who you think does the perfect job of voicing a certain character?
I'm gonna clear my throat. I have to say, Preda voicing Uriah always brings a smile to my face.
It's so funny.
I love it.
The Australian accent, the laugh, the everything.
Too late now, Nigel. Just sit back and enjoy the show, because I think it's going to be dynamite.
The swearing that gets cut off. Brilliant.
Yes.
And it was his own idea. That's so cool.
Yeah, I love Preda's Uriah, and I love his Cedric, because it's so like creepy.
Oh yes, yes.
Even when he's like human Cedric, like there's just something about him that's so sinister. I love that.
This fight ends here, but remember that the war that begins from here will be long and merciless. Goodbye, witches.
I remember we recently got a comment like, "Oh, good idea going with sexy Cedric."
I don't know if that was the intention, but
I don't think Preda was trying to be sexy, but okay, go off, I guess. Queen.
Well, Cedric definitely just like kind of exudes being sensual, which is what I was thinking too. With like, if I even auditioned for Narissa, like, because her voice in the show was like very sensual, and it's like, do you do that or do you try to do something else? You know?
I think that's always a tough choice, choosing if you want to go the TV route or if you want to go do something different with your character. But that's why we got Scottish Corny.
Yeah.
well, yeah, indeed. Sometimes you have to just go a completely different continent and see what happens. I mean, I love everyone's voices. Like, everyone's so good. I really love Molter's Irma voice, and like all the little kind of funny ad libs that they put in and little jokes. I just think they're like the perfect Irma, like just embody the Irma essence. And Veo is so good as Helen, just like that, like really cute, youthful innocence, the high pitched, sweet voice. And Nano's like really good at giving Will that kind of shy, awkward sound where she's always like a bit hesitant, a bit unsure of herself. And obviously, you, Jules, you make Tarani sound like really. I don't know how to word it. Like this, it sounds weird to say like make someone sound smart, but you make her sound like authoritative. Like she knows what she's talking about. That she's got that kind of confidence of like not being overly confident, but like people would listen to her because she knows what she's talking about.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. I never thought I'd seen that way, but that's really cool. Thank you.
So true. I love all the main cast. My voice is still messed up from having COVID, but I love all the main cast, and I really can't imagine anybody else doing them, to be honest.
So, I think that's all the questions. But now, do you have any questions or anything that you want to say?
Not off the top of my head.
Is there a character that you want to voice that in the future that you're like really excited to possibly try?
Oh, that's interesting. Wait. You know reverse card. I think for a second I wanted to say Kadma, but I'm not sure if I could make her voice sound old and deep enough.
I think you could probably figure out Cadma.
Yeah, I'm sure you. I mean, it'll be a while before Cadma comes into the story. I'm sure you can come up with a Cadma voice.
I think that from like all the arcs, maybe Mariko. Mariko was pretty cool,
Oh
and
yeah.
when I was a child, I had one random issue of Witch, and it was A Thousand Tears or something like that, and it was in from arc 8, and it was about Mariko and Liam. So that would be also kind of symbolic to voice Mariko.
That would be sweet.
That would be cool. I don't know who those people are yet, but that'll be cool.
Okay, no spoilers. I'm so glad I didn't spoil it for you because I almost did.
It's okay. I've heard things here and there of future things, so I'm good.
Yeah, I remember I got spoiled too when I was watching the show, but I don't want to spoil for the people who are watching us, so I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, so I think that is all. Thank you so much for being there and for going through this interview with me. I hope you had fun.
Yeah, it was lots of fun.
Yeah, thank you. This was great. I always love talking to people.
Same. It's always good to talk about Witch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's always good to talk about interesting things with intelligent people.